Okay, this is for 3T13. Supervise horse handling. I'm using my phone as well, just in case the voice recorder on the camera doesn't work. Now here we have John. He's going to be handling our horse today. Now we've made sure that he's safely dressed, so he has appropriate shoes on. He's got boots, jeans and a long sleeve shirt. Now John has had some basic experience handling horses, but we're going to coach him in how to do horse handling in a much more safer manner than he might have experienced before. Okay, I'll rephrase it. We're going to do this in a way that we know is safe, just so that John has the correct skills, so that he remains safe and that the horse does too. Okay, now the horse that we have matched for John, we've matched the horse with John because the horse is of the appropriate size for a man of John's size. The horse is quiet and is easily handled, and is not a reactive horse, so he's quite calm in his manner. Okay, so in the round yard here we've got a horse ready to be caught. So I've given John our headstall and our lead here, so I've made sure that he's got the correct equipment. Okay, so John, what we're going to do is we're just going to open the gate. Now when we're going, we do need to make sure that we close the gate afterwards, just so that it doesn't escape him, doesn't want to be caught. Now when we're approaching him, we're going to approach him from the front, from his line of sight, and go around to his near side shoulder, so that we can catch him from there. Okay, and once you do approach him, just give him a pat on that near side shoulder there, and then what I'll get you to do is just with the end of the lead, just wrap your arm up around his neck, and then weave the lead up around his neck and just hold on there, just so that you can secure him while you're putting his headstall on. Okay, I'm just going to move the camera around. So John, if you'd like to go and head towards the round yard and open the gate. Okay, now I will just walk in here behind you. Whoop, camera's a bit hanging there. Okay, so here we just have John shutting the gate. Now as I said, John, we make sure we shut the gate so that the horse can't escape. Now at the moment, as we can see, the horse is having a roll, so just to remain safe, we'll just wait over here until he's finished, because we don't want to get caught with him accidentally rolling over and kicking us. Up you go, buddy, have a shake. Okay, now John, if you'd like to just approach him just on the right side. Okay, would you like to just walk forward with him, John, there? Just give him a bit of a click, keep him beside his shoulder. And when you're ready for him to halt, just put a little bit of pressure under his head, talk to him, that's it, well done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go and tie the horse up using our quick release knot, but first of all we need to get him out of the round yard. So I'm going to move the camera. Now John, if you'd like to walk him over to the gate, just keep on his near side, just near his shoulder there, just asking him to halt. That's the way. That's it, got all the rein in one hand. Just push the gate all the way open. Okay, now we'll walk him all the way out and turn him around once his bottom's out of the yard. Okay, just wait there, I'll just sneak out. Okay, now if you could walk him up to the gate. That's the way, and we're just going to shut the gate again after us. Keeping it on our near side. Well done. Okay, now you can turn him back towards me to turn him around if you like. That's it. Back up to the rail up here. So just keeping him on your near side. Now his friends are up here, so we'll need to make sure we keep contact with his head and just be aware of how he's reacting, just in case he gets a little upset with his friends. He looks settled at the moment. Okay. Now John, if you could, what we're going to do is we're going to tie the horse up using a quick release knot through this baling twine here. Okay, do you know how to do a quick release knot, John? No. No? Okay. Just wait there a moment, I'll just come around his side, and when you walk around him, what we do is we just keep our hand on his rump. Okay, so what we need to do for a quick release knot, just get the end here, now just put it through like this, try and make sure that your lead's always on the ground, making sure that it's good distance away, so that he's not too tight, but also it's not too long, so that if he puts his head down, he's getting his legs caught. So once we're through here, we just bring this back up here like this in a loop, like this. Okay, and then we get this part, just thread that through like this, and we pull, that makes our first loop, and then we will do a second. Okay, so as you can see, now if something happens and the horse pulls back and he gets a bit stuck, all we need to do is grab the end of the lead, and as you can see, the knot releases. Would you like to have a turn? That's right. Do with this one as well, just because the lead is quite long, we might just sit the lead on the inside of the rail there, so that's also away from his feet. Okay, well done. Okay, now we're going to move on to grooming the horse, but first of all we need to remove his rug. Now what we do when we remove a rug, we need to start from the front, so we'll undo his neck clips, and then we'll fold that back over here, and then we'll undo this buckle here, and this is because if he gets away and these buckles are undone, then the rug can just fly straight off his back and it won't get tangled around his front. However, if you were to start at the back and he ran, the rug might fall onto the ground and then he would get tangled in the rug in his front legs. So would you like to start with his rug? It's nice and steady. Okay, so now what we'll need to do, John, get out of the way, Dilly. Okay, so we've got a little clip here, but this strap is also linked through to the other strap. So what we do, if we just undo this one, this way, now that strap's connected underneath here, that's right, so you just need to bring it back around, clip him back up, and once again, this is not only to keep the horse safe, but to make sure they don't tingle. So keeping your hand on him, well done. Walking around, we'll just do the other leg strap, and we'll just stay to the side. reason we do that is if he steps backwards, he might tread on us if we're standing behind him while we're doing the rug. Okay, now if you just put your hand on his rump and walk back around this side for me. Okay, now that's right. If you just fold the rug back. That's right. And just fold it. We'll lift it off. That's right. Now what we'll do is we might just hang the rug over the fence over here so that it's out of the way. Okay, next John, we're going to groom him. So what we need to do, there's a few things we need to do. As he's been rugged, he's obviously not covered in mud, but we still need to get any dust and hair out of him. So if you just hang on a moment, we'll go and organise the brushes. If you'd like to come with me, I'll show you where the brushes are. Okay, John, if we just have a look down here, we just have a couple of brushes down on the cement there. Now the purple brush in the middle, that's our dandy brush. If you'd like to just get that for me. Okay, now we'll move back over to the horse. Starting at the top of his neck, just working downwards. Going to follow his coat line. Just nice and softly, making sure we're getting all the dust out of his coat. That's the way. Okay, we need to make sure we pay particular attention to the area under his saddle and so under his girth as well. So that's it. Good job. And we just need to make sure all around here is dust free as well. And the reason we do this is because he has dust or furs under his saddle, he might get irritated and react. Okay, that's the way, keeping nice and close. Okay, now you can use this brush on his head and his legs as it's a soft brush. And sometimes we put a breastplate on this horse so he can do in between his front legs as well, down the front of his chest. That's the way. Now just paying attention to the horse. Now as you can see, the horse is relaxed. And John's keeping contact with him so that the horse knows that he's there. And this way we can make sure that John remains safe and monitor the horse for any stress as well. And that way, if the horse does become stressed, I can then intervene and assist John if need be. Okay, how'd you go? Did you get all the dust out, do you think? Now if you just like to put your hand back on his rump and just walk back around this way. Okay. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to clean out his hooves. Have you cleaned out a horse's hooves before, John?
No.
Okay, so what we're going to do is if we're going to clean out his hooves, we just need to come up to his shoulder. Now we need him to pick his feet up. So what we're going to do is just give him a bit of a pat. Then we're going to run our hand down his leg. And then when we get down here, just on his tendon there, we're just going to give a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a click, and this will encourage him to pick his foot up. And then when we're holding his foot, we need to make sure we've supported him just here on the coronet band, just there, so that we're not pushing down there. Okay, so I'll step back. Would you like to give that a try for me? Squeeze just down there. Now when he's picked it up, that's the way, just on his coronet band. Now with our hoof pick, we need to face it this way. What we do is we pick down and away from us. We need to be wary of the frog here, so if we just start in the corner here, we can see the mud coming out. Okay. Alright, we might be able to move your hand just a little bit further under his coronet band, just for a bit more support. Out of it, Matilda. That's the way. It's stinky, aren't you, boy? Okay, how do you go? That's it. And there's a little bit hooves out, because if there's any rocks in his hooves and then we go and work him, they can cause pressure on the sole of his hoof and cause bruising and lameness. So we need to make sure that his hooves are clean. Okay. Okay, that's right, nice and gentle. Okay, now we're going to do the same with the back leg. Now with the back leg, a little bit different but very similar. Okay, so what we're going to do is just run down here, and just when we get down here, same again, just a bit of a squeeze. Can you see there, John? Just a bit of a squeeze. He may pull his leg up, but when he's lifted his leg up, what we'll do is we'll just let him stretch his leg back just a little bit and hold our hand once again on the coronet band for support. Now we let him stretch his leg back a little bit so that he's not tucked up and we're not pulling his leg up to the side. Alrighty, so leg down. Okay, I'll just move the camera if you wouldn't mind waiting there for a moment, John. Okay, do you feel confident to have a go with that back leg there, John? Okay, that's right, give him a bit of a click. Okay, let's have a look how we're holding there. Like to move your hands a little bit further under his coronet band, that's right. Well done. Do you have any questions, John? How are you feeling? Are you confident with what I've been showing you so far? Is there anything else you need clarification with? No, not all horses are like this. All horses are very different in their temperament, so you need to be very aware of how the horses react and adjust your actions to the situation. The reason I've matched you with this horse is because he is like this. He is so calm, and it gives you a good chance to practice the skills that you need. That's it. Good job. And now what I'll do is we'll move around to the other side on the front. If you'd like to hold your hand up there and just walk around, keep in contact. Okay, once again, just running your hand down his front. And a little bit of a squeeze on that. Just give us a chance to pick up his other leg. That's it. Okay. Now it is a little bit easier, John, if you use this arm here, your right arm, to support him under his leg, as it gives you a bit more freedom of movement. Okay, is that comfortable? Okay, it's a bit more comfortable the other way. Okay, so if we are doing it this way, we just need to just be a little bit careful we aren't pulling his leg out to the side too much here. Like that. You're doing a good job, especially considering this is the first time cleaning out horses' hooves. To do his hind. I don't think he's made it easy for you, he's already picked it up. That's the way, just run your hand down and stretch him out just a little bit. Just let him relax there. That's the way. Cage. Okay, let's check the camera. Going great, John. Well done, just watch your foot when you place it down so it doesn't tread on it. It's the we'll just go over here, and we've got this brush over here. Now we're going to move on to his tail. So just that blue brush there. And so what we'll do is we'll just stand off to the side like when we cleaned out his feet. So we'll stand on the side of him, just like this. Okay, in this way we remain close and we're not getting trod on. So we just run here. And what we'll do is pull his tail to the side. Away. Now we'll start at the bottom because the tail is very knotty. We'll start at the bottom and let him and work your way up. And as the knots come out, just work your way up to the top. Now up the top of his tail, he has a bone down the middle there, his tailbone. So we won't pull it out too far, that's it. We'll stay to our side, but we'll just keep it close there so that we don't pull his tail around too much and hurt him. That's the way. Like to put that brush back. Now next what we're going to do before we saddle him up, we're just going to do a gear check just to make sure that all of our equipment is clean and safe and we don't have any frays. So if you just walk around this side, John, just give him if you want to walk around him, either keep your hand on his rump or you give him a wide berth and walk right around. That's it. Okay, just going over to his equipment here. Okay, now we have our saddle here. You just want to have a look at the saddle for me and just have a look at the strap, all the straps, and see if any of them are frayed. If there's anything that needs mending. Is it all right?
Yeah, looks good to me.
Okay, now the reason we check this is if we have a frayed girth straps, for example, and we're riding the horse and we haven't checked it, we might be trotting along and this might snap, resulting in us falling off which is what we want to avoid at all costs. Okay, now we've got his girth there. Just have a look at his girth and the buckles. Are they all sound? Next we've got his saddle cloth. Would you just like to check his saddle cloth and make sure there's no burrs in the saddle cloth, no tears, nothing that might irritate him? Well done. Okay, we've got our reins. I've got a few little burrs there, do we? Make sure we get them out so that they're not stuck under his saddle and irritating him. That's the way. Okay, these are his reins. Are they all in good working order? Hang on a sec. I'll just move the camera around to make sure that we can see. Yep. There we go. His breastplate. We just like to check all the connections on those, check they're all in their keepers. And we need to make sure when we are working with horses and their equipment that we regularly check their gear for any damage. Okay, Okay, now we've got his bridle there. Everything attached and in its keepers. There's no tears or breaks. Okay, so now we're going to move on to saddling the horse, John. So if you'd like to pick up the saddle cloth for me and just bring it around. Now we'll go around to his near side, so his left side. Now what we're going to do is when we put the saddle cloth on, we're going to put it on a little bit further up past his withers and just slide it backwards. And what this does is it makes all his hair fall, the saddle cloth is going with the grain of his hair. Okay, so just nice and gently there, just approach him at the shoulder, give him a bit of a pat. Okay, so just sliding that over, that's the way. That's the way, and if you just slide that back, that'll go down with the grain of his hair. Okay. Okay, now we'll walk around the back of him. As I said, you can either do that by walking all the way around or keeping your hand on. If you'd just like to get the saddle for me, John, maybe if we fold the stirrups up over the saddle so that they don't bang you in the knees or hit the horse as you're lifting it on him. And once again, we'll just put the saddle on him from the left-hand side. Do you have any questions, John? Okay, so once again, as you approach him, okay, so we're just going to lift it up and over. That's the way, making sure it's all right. Okay, now what we're going to do with the saddle cloth, just so that we make sure that it doesn't put pressure on his withers. Would you like to put these in the keepers first? That's the way. What we're going to do is we just lift the saddle up a little bit and we just pull this is called the gullet of the saddle cloth. If you just pull it up a little bit, just up there, just like that. The reason we do that is so that once the girth's tightened, the seam of the saddle cloth isn't sitting too tight down in the horse's skin. Okay, now if you'd like to walk around him and go and get the girth for me. Tommy, where you go please? Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just attach it to his right side of the saddle here. That's it, and as you can see there's already some wear marks on that girth strap there, so we know where to put it. That's it, good job. You're too efficient, I don't think you need much teaching at all. Okay, now if you just walk around the other side for me. Okay, so if you just give him a bit of a rub under his belly, that's the way, and just reach under and grab that girth. Okay, now when we're putting our saddle on, we need to make sure that it's sitting just a little bit back past his withers. We don't want it too far forward. The reason being it will interfere with his shoulders, but where you've got it sitting at the moment is in a good position. So if you'd just like to do it up just one hole, just so that it's secured there. So what we do is we don't want to reef it up too tight too soon, give him a bit of a shock. It's like us, we don't just go reef with our belt, we gradually move it up.
Again?
Yeah, if you'd like to move that first one up just another hole. Now what we do is when we're doing the girth up, eventually before we get on we make sure that we can fit just a couple of fingers under here so that it's not too loose but also that it's not too tight. Okay, would you like to go and get his bridle for me and also his reins? it, well done. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll just attach his reins to the bridle. Might just ask him just to move around a little bit, just so the camera can see. Just get him to move around, that's it. Or another way we can do it is we can just come over here and just give him a little bit of a push there and ask him to move over that way as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to, this is his bridle like this. This is the front. Okay, so we're just going to connect his reins to his bit. Now when we do this, because we've got these buckles, we just make sure that this little leg on the buckle is facing outwards so that it doesn't dig into his mouth. And when we do approach him, we just make sure that we don't let the reins drop on the ground so where he can tread on them. Okay. Now what we're going to do, John, is I'll demonstrate how to put his bridle on if you'd like to watch, and then you can have a go yourself. Okay, now because this bridle actually attaches to his headstall, we don't need to remove his headstall. We need to make sure that our reins are not falling on the ground at any time. We can either sit them over his neck, or we can put them over our shoulder. We don't wrap them around our hands because if we attach the bridle to the horse and the horse takes off, etc., you might get a bit injured. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm just going to sit them over my shoulder just to make sure that they're not dragging. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to give him a bit of a pat, just bring his nose, put my hand under and bring his nose around. Okay, so what we're going to do is just nice and slowly, with one hand we're going to hold it up there. Now what we do is we grab the bit like this, just in our fingers like this, and we put our hand either side of his mouth, and just using our thumb and our finger on the other side, we just stick our thumb in there a little bit, and he'll open his mouth for the bit, and then just nice and gently lift the top of the bridle over one ear at a time. And we make sure we get our forelock out. And after we do this part of the bridle here, the headband, it attaches to his headstall, like so, with the clip on both sides. Okay, do you feel confident to have a go, John? Okay, so now in reverse, to take their bridle off, we'll just undo the clips. Okay, now we need to be careful of his mouth, so what we'll do is just take it off one ear at a time, nice and gently, and let him spit it out, rather than pulling it out. Okay, your turn. Do you have any questions? Alrighty, let's go. So now to stop him moving away, if you just put your arm under, that's right, just to keep his head where you'd like. Just nice and gently, that's the way. Okay, that's right. Now if we just go around the other side, we just need to secure the clip on the other side of his bridle, up on the top. If you could just check that all his forelocks out from being tangled in the bridle as well. Don't want to cause irritants to him. Okay. Alrighty, would you like to just, I'll show you how we can lift the reins over his head. Okay, so once you've got your bridle attached, you've got your reins here. And as you can see, you've got your two reins. So what we'll do is just nice and slowly, just put your arm around, up and over. Like that. Okay. That's the way. Okay, now we need to make sure that they don't dangle. So there's a couple of different things that we can do. We can wrap them up in through here, just to keep them secure. can do it is we can just bring them up and just wrap them up here, just like this, just to make sure that they stay secure. Okay, we don't want them dragging on the ground. Hang on a second, we'll just do a bit of a gear check. Okay, John, now what we're going to do is we're just going to gradually increase the tension on his girth. So if you'd like to just work the outside up first, just go up one hole at a time. The reason we do this, as I said, is we don't want to reef it up too tight, too quickly. Okay, how's that tension there? Can you fit your fingers underneath? Okay, have a look. Righty, we might be able to go up one more. We don't want that saddle to slide around. Now this saddle is fitted for this horse. It is a specialised saddle, which means that it can be adjusted to fit different horses, and it has been adjusted to fit this particular horse. Okay, that's it. Okay. And now we'll just do a quick check. This girth's on well. Would you like to bring the stirrups down? Just nice and gently, one at a time. We don't want to flop them down and smack them in the side with it. Tom? Huh? Away you go, please, mate. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick check. Alright, just making sure his bridle doesn't have any twists in it, sitting in his mouth correctly. You've got your reins with the buckles facing out, that's good. Okay, well done. His clips are all done up. And you've got your reins secured there so that they're not dragging on the floor, on the ground, sorry. Your girth's got good tension. It's in a good position. Feels secure. He's sitting in the middle of his back. Okay, I'll just check the other side. Excuse me. Okay, it's all looking good. Great job. Well done. I don't think I could have done a better job myself. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate to you how to secure a horse using a headstall over the top of the bridle, because not all bridles are like this one that connect to their headstall. So if you just wait there a moment, I'll just go and grab another headstall just to show you how to do that one. Okay, now just going up to him again. So what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to demonstrate how to secure the horse over the top of a bridle. So hypothetically, if he wasn't attached to this one, just remove this lead. Okay, thank you. Make sure that's out of the way. So what we'll do, we'll just slip this up over his nose. We might remove the reins so that it's not interfering. Sit that up there for now. We'll just make sure we've got hold of him at all times. Okay, so what we'll do is just slip this over the top, just loosely. Just make sure that's not catching on his bit there. And we'll just bring it up and over. And as I said, it's making sure that it can't slip off and there's no tangles, and also that it's not interfering with his bit. So this is how we will secure a horse using a headstall over the top of a bridle. Would you like to have a go for me?
Yep.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just change this over so that it's back onto his actual headstall that he's wearing. Okay. Okay, so I'll reconnect the reins for you. So the first thing I'll get you to do is to move his reins out of the way so that they don't become tangled in the headstall, because we don't want to be pulling on his mouth. Okay. So we need to make sure too that if we're going to go on the other side, like it's fine with what we've just done, but if we were to want to actually go around to the other side, we don't duck underneath, we walk around the back, and that way if the horse pulls back, we're not in any line of danger. That's the way. Okay, how'd you go? Okay, I'll just go and have a check. Yeah, that's good. Yep, well done. Okay, so then what we do, if we were getting ready to ride, what we do, if we've got our reins here, so we want to make sure that he's secure so that he can't get away. So we've just got him secured here with his reins. So then we just release his headstall. Make sure that it wasn't in the way of his legs at all. Hold on to the headstall or the cheek strap of his bridle. And then we just reattach our reins, once again making sure they're facing out. And I'm just going to walk around just to the other side so that I can see what I'm doing a bit clearly. And then we secure our rein like this. Okay, and that's a really, really bad example of how you don't do it. I forgot that he wasn't tied up. So if you were to do this, if you're going to go around the other side, what you might get him to do is just ask him to step back like this, and then we just move around to this side, keeping a hold of him, make sure that he's secured, and then we'd attach our rein on this side as well. Important to make sure that he's secured at all times. I made a mistake there. I was a little bit blasé given that I do know the horse and I know he's not going to walk anywhere, but because you don't know the horse, you need to not do what I just did. We need to make sure that they're secure at all times. Okay, would you like to have a go at that one? Okay, I'll re-secure him. Make sure I'm doing it the right way this time. Just walk back up. Now once again I've got him secured here with his rein. Before we put the headstall back on. Would you like to do that? Okay, would you like to have a go at removing the headstall and attaching his reins? Just make sure that he's secured. That's the way. Do you have any questions? Well done. Okay, so what we will do, just when we're handling the reins around his neck, we just need to be careful that if you're in front of him here, and you're handling the reins like this, he might lift his head up. So if you stand right in front of his head just like that, if you just come back around this way a little bit, if he lifts his head up, he might headbutt you. So if you're handling his reins, just try, once you've got him secured, try and pass your arm underneath and move around to the side so that way you're not standing directly in front of him. As I said, if you're standing here, he could lift his head up, knock you backwards, or headbutt you in the face. Okay. Now, I think you're ready to ride. We've got all of our gear checked. We've done our headstall. We've done our bridle, done our reins. What I'll do is I will just repeat need to make sure if we do anything, that we make sure we don't leave any equipment on the ground. It can get ruined, or it could become a hazard for him, or also a trip hazard for yourself. Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
Do you feel confident in saddling him up?
Yep, very confident.
Okay, well done.